Few seconds. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Okay, I'm ready.
Mom, I'm not ready.
3,
I'm ready.
2, 1.
Hi guys, welcome to the newest episode of Four Guys One Album, where Antidote To
God,
Chaos
who are
talk
the
shit
four
about one
guys?
album for half an hour. Hooray!
Who are the four guys?
Hey.
Does anybody know who these four guys are? Because I've got no idea.
No. You will come to know who we are eventually one
I
day
see.
when Jack
Maybe.
turns out Actually, I think the thing what'll break the band is when Noah sleeps with someone and then like some chick's like, oh my god, turns out he's very well endowed.
Jesus Christ. Just
Be like that.
I
Be
thought
like that
you were
No,
just
video.
you
gonna-
can't
I
say
thought you-
anything on your Instagram, isn't it? Like Big D on your Insta or something like that.
Wait, who?
On your Insta,
Big D?
haven't you got something on your Insta? You did it as a meme, didn't you?
Big D.
Oh, the fucking right, yeah. Oh, this is an interesting story. So,
Cold
you guys have seen the picture that I took for Instagram. Basically, I lost a lot of weight and got fairly toned. So I was like, you know what? I've got a picture of me fat versus me toned, so I thought I'll put them next to each other.
That was it.
Have you got your cock out in
pretty
one
good.
of them?
Well, no. The problem was because of where I was stood for the toned version of me. It was over a sink, and I realised that if I got too close to the sink, it kind of like just goes over it, and it's just like there's just this cock and balls on the sink.
A little serving, a little like, please sir, may I have some cock?
Nice little
A little
segment.
starter to draw them in. But, so I had to make sure that I didn't do that. But the problem was like I was wearing shorts and very thin pants, and like again,
Worth it.
I don't know what it is, but like when I wear very thin things, like it's very, very noticeable.
Kieran,
So
do you
I
want to
just
get the
kind of-
photo up on the screen right now?
Oh god.
There we go.
Oh,
do it in post. It'll be fine.
yeah.
Just plonk it over my face.
I'm just
for the
loving,
entire
like, as we're
episode.
recording this now, I'm loving thinking that I'm going to have to actually dive through Noah's Instagram and maybe like
Yeah.
I'll find some of what I missed and I'll just be like,
You'll
oh.
find cock and balls.
Actually, yeah, that might be the thing. I'll find what I've missed. I'll just be like, oh, Jesus
That can be
Christ.
that can be the thumbnail for this week's episode. Just
Oh,
You know,
It's
what,
gonna
we-
be-
you know
just
what we're not
Noah's
going to miss
being
though?
no.
indulge knob.
It's the bear. It's
You
the
know what
bare
we're not going to miss?
definition
We're
of
not going to
dude
miss the
hangs
question
dong.
of the day.
I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't
moving on.
link to our question of the day,
Yeah,
but like
it
it
doesn't
could
link.
in a way. So
Does
the
it?
question of the day is:
Oh.
I want you guys to tell me what I should get for my next tattoo because I have no idea.
So
And I have been
coming
debating
out of that
months.
segment, we know it should be Noah's. Like it should be that just that.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna
should
say,
it be Noah's
it should be
podcast?
my dick and balls off Instagram. You should get it tattooed right on your arm.
To be fair, Noah, I love
think.
you so much, and that would be a great like trophy to you.
You could get the picture, like the entire picture done, like cock and balls over the sink and everything.
I reckon,
You can get fat me on
A massive
Toned
sleeve
me.
that's just your cock and balls over my arm.
I reckon you should get the Satan design from Stans.
Don't like, if
that-
anyone
mate,
here,
if
is,
you
if
got-
anyone listening is from Manchester, comment how much you miss Stans. Second
Stans.
question of the day: how much do you miss Satan's? Because I miss it
Oh.
so much, I cry every day.
I miss it
Can I just do the next
incredibly.
question, week 4, and then only a selected few people can actually
Oh god,
answer
we've
that
already
question.
spoiled it now. It's too late. You know what? Special bonus episode. 2 questions of the day. Look at that. God, we're
As
so
well,
generous,
as well,
aren't
I
we?
think you should get, Jack. You should get the Scout Regiment logo from Attack on Titan.
Oh god, fucking weird.
like-
Not you weird booze.
Yeah, I should get it because then I could like just stand around and just like give my heart.
Just get
to
it.
Just, random
Just get it
people.
like proper big on your back, and then
Oh, that'd be sick. I mean, I'll get Levi's face on my face. Do you know what I saw the other day, which really disappointed me? That the guy who does the voice for Levi is really unattractive.
that's
Oh.
a shame.
I know because Levi is daddy, and he's voiced by
Top,
like a
top
proper
10
fucking
anime
nerd.
disappointment.
I can already feel
And then I'm
some
like
of our
top 10 anime betrayals.
I can already feel some of our anime friends watching this completely. You know,
Oh,
Go
God.
you guys.
I wonder
Yeah.
who that
You
might
guys
be.
are the real chads.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, actually, to be fair, Caitlin, if you're watching, like 100%.
Yeah.
No, 100% right. Caitlin,
She definitely
right.
is.
Caitlin, 100%.
Anime
she's
friends
watching it.
names one person.
No. This is the thing, right?
She's watching it right now. She could smell the mere
But if you
mention
think
of Attack
about
on
it-
Titan.
If you think about it, if a woman is very attracted to an anime character, what's that going to do when they find out the voice actor's really ugly?
That's a good
You know
question.
what I mean? It's
What
like,
if
oh
they-
my god,
I mean,
I'm
I
attracted
just,
to your
I
voice,
just cry in
but
that scenario.
it's like
it kind of flips your perception in a
It's
way
like-
because you've associated that voice with that anime character. So like, I mean, even seeing them in real life is probably going to confuse you a little bit.
It kind of goes with that saying like you should never meet your idols.
kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like if
You know what I mean?
like,
Yeah,
I
you
guess-
should never see who, like, it's kind of like if you always envisage, like, it's like if you're really into the band, like if you're really into Slipknot and you've never seen what they look like behind their masks, and then you find out that Clown is just a guy with a beard. It's like,
It's
but if
sort
you
of
always
like,
envisage him as Clown, and
Has
if you
Cor-
never saw the
has
guy
Cor-
beneath,
Sorry, I was going to say, has Corpse done a face reveal? Do we know what Corpse looks like?
God no, he's currently drowning in fan mail.
Yeah, probably. But I'm just going to say, because like, the only thing I have seen on the internet is a bunch of eagles reacting to his voice going, oh my god, like kind of thing. And I just, wouldn't it be such a meme if he was just like really ugly?
I kind of really hope that he's fuck ugly. Like, no offense to
You're
him.
just
or
there
anything,
like,
it's
please,
just-
a man can't have
it'd
that
just
voice.
be really. I think it'd just be really funny if he was like just this ugly, like the most
Also,
ugly
sorry.
human being that you've ever seen.
Come here. This episode.
Is that
Oh
Cap?
gosh.
This episode. is
featuring
brought to you-
Milo.
Hey boy.
Oh yes.
Hey.
There we go. Everybody meet Milo if he looks at the camera. Look at the camera. Alright, never
I love how he's got socks on.
Yeah, 100%.
Aw.
Yeah.
He's got
comfy.
little white socks, and
He's all
that pleases
cozy.
me. I'm also wearing white socks.
What do you think they should
I
open?
would reveal my socks, but I don't want to show off my feet because I should be charging for that
Do you
shit.
think they should
Oh, God,
reopen
yeah.
Saints Hollow? Yeah.
That's a yes.
That's a
I
yeah.
think, I'm definitely sure that he said yeah.
Yeah, he definitely did. Well, okay,
Right.
we've got like a fifth person here, unless he decides to bite me. But okay. Anyway,
Oh.
My,
what did
That's 20 more views right there. Before we go on to the album, there was someone I work with was telling me there's this one guy who he lives with who does like drumming videos, and he was trying to do an algorithm experiment on YouTube and Facebook and that. So in one video, he put a cat just in his. There's this cat that goes into the house. So in one drumming video he put a cat in, and it automatically got like 100 more views. In one video he did the drumming on his girlfriend's bum, and it got more views. And then in one video he did the drumming on his girlfriend. He did bleed on his
And the
girlfriend's
cat.
bum with a cat in the
And the
video,
cat.
and it got
Yes.
thousands of views.
That's beautiful.
That's amazing.
So
in other words,
we all
Milo
know what
is
the internet
our
really
So
wants
Milo's
to
gonna
see.
be a
So
common
we should
feature.
Be drumming. We should be slapping Kieran with a cat in the video
Yeah.
Oh yes.
to bleed by Meshuggah,
I mean-
obviously.
I could do it right now.
Should we
He's only
Shall
down
we
the
just get a
hallway.
lot of samples of him meowing and we'll just make a fat EDM track out of it?
Oh god. Anyway, speaking of fat EDM things.
Very true.
This
drops
week
out
we're
everywhere.
talking about health, and I don't mean the kind that is good for you. I mean like
Not the mental
the trio.
kind.
It's definitely not good for your ears. Or maybe it is. Who
Ooh.
knows?
So Kieran, do you want to start us off because this was your choice?
Yeah. So
Introduce people to health.
So basically, Health, between their official releases of albums, they usually do a collaboration album with different artists. And luckily enough, I was just on Spotify one day and I realised they released another collab album. They're usually called Disco, so it'd be Disco 1, Disco 2, Disco 3, but the one we're talking about today is Disco 4. And
Oh.
basically...
Part one.
How unexpected.
Yeah, and basically, I listened to it and ow. Yes, I get it. You don't like Disco
bitch.
4? Come on,
Bye, cat.
it's great. You give love and attention to something, and it just fucks you over. That's great. You little bastard.
Welcome to marriage.
Well, welcome to marriage. None of us are married. There's some like 40-year-old commenting like, "That's not marriage. You don't know what it feels like."
It's about commitment and compromise and trust.
Anyway,
I just spilled beer all over my hands.
so I had to listen to it, and I was honestly very, very surprised and intrigued. There is so much. Health usually love to completely overproduce everything, make it as meaty as hell, and obviously when you include other artists into the mix, you get some really intriguing variants, and the whole album in itself is, I would say it's quite tonally different. Like there's different segments, like the opening tracks are very electronic and almost easy listening, and then it'll throw in maybe a bit of their usual heavy production, but then they'll just go back to being light, because the singer himself like has a very light voice. It's not like he overprojects and belts. It's very easy listening, his voice. And then you'll get halfway through the album, and I think the first track is Innocence, and then it's just Screamo from the featured artist, and it's like, Jesus, where did this come from? And it goes completely heavy, and instead of it being their usual thing of like electronically manipulated heaviness, let's say, it's actually guitars, and you're thinking, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be intriguing to talk about, because I knew none of you would have ever. So I know, Noah, you've heard of Health before. I think Jack, I've showed you Health before.
Yeah, you've shown me them before.
And then Josh,
I've not heard anything.
I heard the album, the other one with the
Slaves of Fear.
Was it the one that was dropped in 2015? I can't remember now.
Death
I've heard
Magic.
one album by them, but it was ages ago.
Might
I can't
be Death
remember.
Magic then.
Yes, yeah, that was the one.
I like
But
Death Magic. Death Magic.
I actually really enjoyed this one, and I think one of the things that stood out to me was because obviously you were talking about how it has different people on. I think the features are actually the strongest part of this project. Like all of the features add something different. And before I stop talking and someone else starts, I love 100 Gex. And the fact that they feature on one song here makes me so happy, and it's my favorite song on the album by a long stretch. It's just,
you like
and the song titled Cyberpunk as well. There was a lot to like, especially someone who likes electronic music, and who really appreciates like heavy ambient shit like the Doom soundtracks and that. I got a lot of joy out of this thing.
Oh, we're so gonna have to review the Doom soundtrack at some point. Sorry.
Honestly, I've just installed Doom Eternal for the PC and I'm buzzing. I haven't played it yet, but I'm ready. But yeah, to end my segment, I had a lot of fun with this. So
yeah. I think like I agree with you, Jack. Is it Power Fantasy, the song with 100 gags?
Yeah, it's Power Fantasy, yeah.
I think that really shows how spontaneous Health is, as a band in general. Like, I think it's a kind of good display of just what they're all about. Like, if I was going to introduce somebody to Health, I'd probably show them this song. I know it's not the truest form of it, because it's obviously got
if you want it,
guest artist on it. But I'd say that it kind of represents the whole kind of thing, because you listen to a lot of like you go back to, is it Slaves of
Fear?
Yeah, that's it.
That was the
There's
album
a few songs,
before the
yeah
collab.
There's a few songs on there where it's just the structures just make no sense, and like again, I feel like that kind of just sums up Health in general, though. I think that's just how they write their music, and I really, really like it. It's like, I think, what's the word that I'd use to describe aggressive? I think aggressive is the word that I'd use to just describe everything about this band, but like not so much in a negative connotation, but more just you listen to it and you just think, God, that sounds so evil and angry.
I'd say it
It's a
sounds
really
like,
dark album.
Yeah,
musically.
yeah.
I'd say it sounds
But then
like heavy without the stereotypical connotation of heavy being like it's like the other side of what heavy music can sound like. Like everyone, as soon as you say heavy music, everyone instantly thinks like drop a China cymbal, But like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not that. It's
Or
not that. It's
dubstep.
like heavy in a sense of what heavy should be, where it's like slow, massive, disgusting, like everything that I look for when I want to like punch pillows. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I think like what's my favorite song? I think Innocence is my favorite song off this, just because that beat is so tasty. It's so...
Yeah, with the guitars as well. I think either
Yeah, yeah,
Innocence or Body/Prison.
Oh, yes, that's a
those
good
are my
shout.
two
Yeah,
favourites.
to be fair, that's a good one as well. Like, I've also got DF Lux. That song is sort of the more ambient video gamey sounding thing, but I really like it. It reminds me of, Kieran, you might recognise these, Masterclass in Solfeggini. Do you remember Shunya? It kind of
Not
reminds
that.
me of them.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean.
It's like yeah, it's really, really like, I don't know how to describe it, because like again, I've just said like all of their songs are quite aggressive, but this one kind of doesn't sound openly aggressive. At least if it's aggressive, I'd probably say that it's very like undertonally aggressive. But it's like, yeah, I'd say Power Fantasy, Innocence, DF Lux are probably like my top three favorite songs off this album. Like,
I would probably
What about
agree
you, Josh?
with those three. To be fair, I just want to take a second to just talk about how good the production is on this album. Like, in my notes,
it's
because
really
I've written
good.
them on my phone, I wrote production with a space between all the letters, and then a tick sign, and then just the fire emoji. Because I couldn't be, and I was just like,
Nice.
that
Nice.
sounds about right. Like, it's
That'll do.
massive when it needs to be, but when it's ambient, it makes that change. It doesn't feel like it's constantly on the same level. It doesn't feel
kind-
like
kind
it's
of
just taking an
feels-
instrument away. It feels like the whole texture changes, and it's just
it kind of feels like a string of a lot of different things.
yeah.
If you get me, like it sounds more. It's more like a sort of display of, here's what I can do. Here's what I can do with other people, whilst
Yeah.
also keeping to my original sound, or the band's original sound.
I
That's
think
how
we
I sort
we
of
got to
look at
talk
this.
about the imagery as well.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
like
Well,
every
with all, like, the
song has its own
canvases
video.
and shit on Spotify, like all of the artwork and stuff that plays in the background. I think it helps because, like, this is going to sound really, really snobby, but the album is, like, sonically, like, what's the word? Like,
Fragmented?
I want to say versatile. Like, it
Oh,
goes
yeah.
from so many different places, and the imagery that
Yeah.
Josh was just on about, like, really, like, amplifies that to, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's all got like connecting themes, but it's all very different each video. And I listened to this album through watching the videos of it on YouTube, so
Yeah.
I had the constant imagery with it.
Wow. I might have to go do that, actually. That sounds cool.
It was.
I
saw a few of
recommend
those.
it
I
if
didn't
you
see
haven't.
many,
Yeah, you
but
see,
it was-
like you say, the canvases on
added to it.
Spotify, yeah.
Yeah, the canvases
Yeah.
on Spotify, they're obviously just like
Well, they
20-second
loop.
clips.
Yeah,
they
they
just
loop,
repeat
yeah.
themselves. But Code Orange are another band that do this really well.
Yeah.
Where all of their canvases on Spotify like really link up to the sound that they're going for. And because Code Orange also have their songs that are like stupidly heavy and ridiculous.
I'd probably put Code Orange as fairly similar to Health, probably in terms of like structure.
Oh, they
And,
kind
like,
of if Health were a metal like an out and out metal
Yeah.
band, they probably would sound like Code Orange. And if
I
Code
wouldn't-
Orange were like an
I get that,
electronic
yeah.
band, they'd probably sound like Health.
I wouldn't put it past Health to do similar to what one of the things that Code Orange does that I love whenever I hear it is just you'll hear this heavy riff going and then you'll just hear a complete stop in the entire track and then it'll all come back in again like complete. It sounds so jarring, but it's cool as fuck to listen to. Like, I wouldn't put it past Health if they did something similar with how they, and it would work with their style of music as well. They're both very, very aggressive sounding bands.
What would
I agree.
you,
I totally agree. Yeah.
Unless you
Was there anything that anyone?
unless Josh,
Oh
you've
yeah,
got
you
anything.
go on, Kieran. Sorry.
If you've got anything to add to Josh, I was going to say, should we maybe say about things we didn't like?
Oh, that's literally what
I
was gonna
put
say.
Hey.
in my notes. I put again, kind of like the album we talked about a few weeks ago from Bill Murray, that none of the songs really outstay their welcome.
Yeah, they were quite short.
Like there's nothing that's too long, or you think kind of drags on
I
a
think
little
the
bit.
album's only 36 minutes as well, I think.
It's something like 40
it's
minutes
38,
and that.
30 yes.
Oh, is it?
It's not long at all.
The only thing that I didn't like about this album, there was some tracks that I found quite forgettable. Only some, not loads.
I think some more towards the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
That I kinda
I
like.
did love the closing track though. Was it
I
hard?
do
Hard
love
to be
the
a
closing
God, I
track.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love the close. There was just a few just here and there. Like we're talking like 2 or 3, not a lot.
Yeah, usually
I-
there's
yeah,
a song where the I forget who the featured artist is, but there's like a rap song, isn't there at one point?
Yeah, I know.
And-
I know
is
which
it-
one you
and
mean.
it, like,
Yeah, it was
like,
If I had the
Judgment.
track list in front of
Like,
me. Yeah.
granted,
It's
Judgment
for me,
Night.
was that it? Yeah, okay. So, but for me, I remember feeling like, how can I put it? So, even though it's a collab album and each song distinctly is supposed to be different from the others, there's still obviously like, I don't know. It just didn't feel like a rap song should have been in there.
It could have flowed better.
I-
Do you mean,
I
like,
wasn't a-
it's
I
like-
wasn't
yeah.
a fan of that
jarring
track.
transition to hear someone
Yeah.
rapping all of a sudden after you've heard nothing but either screamo or the lead singer's like calm, easy vocals.
I'd
I
say
agree.
I would say like at least the song wasn't very long, but I still wasn't a huge fan of it.
Should we?
I'd say it kind of feels like this album was sort of made for fun, which again isn't a bad thing.
It's
at
totally
all.
not a bad
Like,
thing.
I would
Yeah,
say
absolutely.
I would
Yeah.
say it might just be like an artistic experiment for them because, like I say, they do it
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time they release an album. They release an album,
it's-
then
And
they
that's
release
not
a collab
that's
album.
absolutely not a bad thing. Like if a band wants
No.
to go out and I would rather an artist absolutely tried something new. I would absolutely rather an artist tried something new
Then not do it at all.
and it bomb than
rubbing-
like do the same thing for 10 albums in a row. Like
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
absolutely
100%.
rather
Come
they
to
try
think of
something
it,
new.
I might give Health some props. Me personally, I don't really recall any artist releasing albums and then in between each album release they do a collab album.
No, I've never heard of anything like a collab album. I've heard of people like in between like studio releases
Yeah, maybe do like if they
a
made
B-sides or like
Yeah.
a mixtape or like a something like that,
but it's like
never
a full-on
anything.
dedicated collaborative album.
Oh yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
separate
I'm for the
studio
collab
release.
album. For it being a collab album, again, talk about like all the videos and that. They put a lot of effort into it. It's not just
Considering,
it's not just
it is a
here's
collab album. It does.
it's not
it does-
just here's something
yeah,
on the side whilst you're waiting for another release.
Exactly. It's a release on its own.
Oh, by the way, speaking
yeah.
of which, Health have actually got a gig in Manchester Academy 2 later this year, by the way. And I was a little bit
When?
like, yeah.
Is it happening?
Well, it probably.
I got an
yeah,
email
that's
this
true.
morning
That
saying
is
one of
true
my
'cause
gigs
you know,
has just got cancelled.
or it'll
so-
get moved again. But I thought to myself, because it's like £16.50 a ticket, so I thought I should mention that to you guys just in case. Because
That's not.
I
bad.
would
that's a good
totally
idea.
go see Health. Absolutely.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
is it?
I think it's July. I think June or July.
Right, July. Everyone who's listening, come.
Hopefully not. Yeah, hopefully
we'll
not
we'll
during
do a
the-
meet and
hopefully
greet outside.
not.
of the
Hopefully
queue.
not during
All
Download
5.
Festival though. If Download Festival does go ahead in 2021,
All
I'm
5 of our
confident.
listeners.
I'm
it'll
confident.
be fine. It'll work out. But for £16.50,
I'm optimistic.
For £16.50 to see Health, that's
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 not
pretty
bad
good.
At all, that.
pretty damn
Academy 2 is a sick venue as well. Like all of the Academy venues are sick. So
Yeah. So
Scoring.
if all five of our viewers would be interested in meeting us,
we'll be there. Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
I could probably reel them off.
Hi, Mum.
I would
Just
say
of
hi,
our
mum, but she's
parents.
probably not even listening.
She's probably not even
like,
watching. Oh,
So should we think about
Mum,
giving
if
this
you're
a
watching, I
score?
love you, but you're probably not even listening.
Right, scores.
okay.
Put down the Baileys.
Put down the.
Get your pen and paper, Jack.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
add this up.
Why has this become my job? I mean, I'll accept it.
Because you're
but,
the
like,
one. Because you're the one who started writing it down.
Just because I'm wearing glasses doesn't mean that I'm.
You're
smarter
our
than-
I'm
resident
wearing
scribe.
glasses too. I'm gonna have to take them off.
Okay, well, I would actually give it a 7. I think it's just like an overall good album. I don't think it's a masterpiece or anything. I just think strong 7.
Okay. Josh, Noah.
Josh, you can go first.
So I'm gonna give this a 7 as well. I agree with Kieran. It's nothing. I don't think it's something I'm gonna go back to a whole lot, but I definitely appreciate the effort that's been put into it. It definitely has a certain like vibe the whole time. I put in my notes as well, just bopping my head throughout a lot of it, just like
Meat.
that's always a good thing.
Like...
So 7 out of 10.
Cool. I think I'm also gonna give it a 7 because, again, I really, really enjoyed this album. I did enjoy it a lot, but it kind of like, again, it sounds kind of counterintuitive considering how I say like I kind of like the jarring sound of Code Orange, but the album itself kind of felt a little bit too jarring in places.
Maybe that's because
like,
it's a
kind
collab
of
album. Maybe.
But then again, like that could be the intention. If that's the intention,
absolutely.
that's fine. But again, for me personally, it was kind of like a little bit too much at times. I still really enjoyed the album. I think the song's got a lot of really good songs on it. But yeah, I'm confident with 7.
I actually gave this album an 8. Like,
Nice.
I don't know, like I thought the highs of the album were so good, and as opposed, I look at, because I keep track of because I'm sad. I keep track of what albums I've rated 7s and 8s and 9s and 10. I have Spotify playlists because I'm just a fucking nerd. And I look at what albums I gave a 7 and what albums I gave an 8, and I'm like, I would probably fit it into this category more. Just the highs I thought were so good, and there were some parts that I thought were great, but there were some tracks that I thought were just a bit forgettable. But the parts I liked were like enough to give it an 8. Like, there wasn't a part of me that was like, to me, like, there would have to be a track that I actively disliked, which I didn't think was the case. So I'm going to give it an 8, which gives it an overall score of 29, which puts it last in our league.
The lowest,
in our
lowest
League of
so
Legends.
Far.
Not sponsored, promise.
I mean, still
Yeah.
third place.
Third place behind Bill Murray,
third place,
who was on
out of
32.
3.
It's gonna be great to see how all this pans out now.
I can't wait till we get a 40. When we get a 40, we'll have to all do shots. Put that on record.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because
We'll
it's
get
never going to
matching
happen. There's never going to be an... I swear
One
to God.
I can't think of one that we're all going to give.
Flagged on YouTube.
We can get
I'll pledge this right now on video. If there's an album that we all individually think is a 10 out of 10, then I will get something that Noah suggests tattooed.
See, here's what I was going to suggest.
Oh,
I was
boy.
going to suggest we all get matching tattoos.
Oh, mate, don't even, because I totally would. I'll put anything on my
would.
skin.
Oh,
Needle,
I would,
ink,
I think.
scran. I'll put anything on me, to be honest.
Oh no! It would have to be. We'd have to get a picture of Damon or something, like Charlie as Damon.
Yes.
You know. Or maybe we should just get like Dennis in all caps, you know, because of the Dennis system.
We could get different parts of it. So one gets the DE, one gets the NN, and one gets the. Oh, that would be so good.
Or we all
So
get-
good.
Every time
we
we
all
take
get-
a band photo, the Dennis tats line up.
That would be
we all-
fucking awesome. I would love that so much.
We
That
should
would...
all get the album cover that we rate 40 out of 40.
Oh.
Yeah, but no, because
That's
it'd be something really like because knowing our look, the cover for that album would be something like the album would be sick, but the cover would be trash.
Yeah.
So we'd have like some trash album cover like on
could
our
you,
thighs.
I mean, to be honest, could you imagine having Poppy's album on your body?
Which
the,
one?
latest one,
honestly, I could absolutely imagine having Poppy
I disagree.
like, on my
That's
arm
it.
at
That
some
album's
point.
called I Disagree, isn't it?
God, Jesus.
The one with like the
We have-
spikes in her head and everything.
How have we somehow mentioned Poppy in every
I don't
episode
know.
so far without
We're going
even
to have to
talking about
review a
her
Poppy
album?
album.
We're such
Please,
simps
messages.
and we
We're
don't
so
even know.
deprived.
Maybe we will one day, maybe we won't, but maybe one day we will.
Who knows?
Review a Poppy album.
I'll
and we
deliberately
can-
review the album before I disagree, just to be like, oh yeah, it's not as good as I disagree.
But for now, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
You know,
Until we get to that day.
On Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Music, you name it, we're there, like swimwear.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything.
Are we on Twitter?
we are on Twitter, but
We
we,
are on
don't
Twitter.
even use it because we don't
We're
use
on
Twitter.
Twitter? Okay, fair. We are on Twitter.
But we don't use it. So, like, we don't at all.
Well, you know what
check
page?
your,
If you're on Twitter and you're looking at us and you're like, well, they don't really post anything. No Context Porn is a hilarious page that you should all follow on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna
if you want,
sponsor
any-
them because it's such a good page. So
If you want any updates from us, check your closest Samsung smart fridge. We'll be on there.
in your new Tesla car, we'll be on the front screen.
Oh, God.
Whilst
We're gonna have
when
to
you get
end this
bored,
one
when you get
here,
bored
aren't
of
we?
playing The Witcher, when you get
I'm
bored
getting
of playing The
more and
Witcher
more
in your
drunk
Tesla.
as these podcasts go on. So like, for the
God.
I'm just gonna go.
I feel like
Go
they're going to get longer, from 20 to like 40 to 1 hour.
Oh jeez.
All right.
Oh, thank you for listening.
Everyone.
All right. See you
Cheers,
later.
guys.
Have fun.
In a
See ya.
bizzle.